This is the Wednesday I'll be talking about the constitutional law discussion, and the first question I will be answering is provide an example of a restriction of an athlete's freedom of speech. And one example that I looked up was Craig Hodges. He was a former NBA player, considered to be one of the best three-point shooters during his time, and he was a part of the Bulls teams that won a championship in the early 1990s with Michael Jordan. And during the White House visit in 1992, he wore a Western African outfit called a dashiki, and he basically wrote a letter to President during the time W.H.W. Bush, and he basically wrote a letter complaining about the lack of attention or lack of media coverage towards poor people and treatment of minority, or the bad treatment of minorities during the early 90s. And he also criticized Michael Jordan, his former teammate, for not using his fame or his money to help with the cause of poor or minority people. So he filed a $40 million lawsuit against the NBA because he basically got blackballed from the NBA for expressing his opinions on those topics. So he was basically capping it before capping it even happens. And was the practice constitutional? Absolutely not. He had every right to express his opinion. I agree with his opinions that minorities during the 90s were treated terribly, and he also had every right to write a letter to the president during the time. He also had every right to wear the dashiki. He basically blackballed him for the First Amendment, basically for his freedom of speech. So I believe that he shouldn't have got blackballed at all. He deserved another chance, and they basically took his career away because he spoke his mind. He spoke how he felt about the treatment of minorities and poor people during the time, and I think that's total BS. But it's whatever. He deserves not to get blackballed. He was only 32 during the time, so he was still a contributing player, obviously, because he won 3 championships with the Bulls. So I think that was totally unfair. And the next question is provide an example of an athlete being disciplined for posting something on social media. And I looked up a quote from Deshaun Jackson. He was a former Eagles receiver. He now plays for the Los Angeles Rams. And he basically said that Adolf Hitler was anti-Semitic. He was not anti-Semitic, I'm sorry. He basically said that Hitler was not anti-Semitic. And anti-Semitic means prejudice or racial words or etc. towards Jewish people. And as we all know, Adolf Hitler was one of the faces of the Holocaust during World War II. He is considered to be one of the most evil men to ever live. And for Deshaun Jackson to say that was completely unacceptable, unnecessary, and outright stupid, because as we all know, the Holocaust is considered to be one of the worst events in not only American history but in the world history. And for Deshaun Jackson to say that Hitler was not anti-Semitic and the premise behind Hitler was to eliminate Jewish people, I think that was silly what he said. And it was from last year, 2020. So as we all know, 2020 was a historic year, and good and bad, I guess. Mostly bad, but for him to say this during that time last year, 2020, after all the racial tension that was going on throughout the whole year, was completely unacceptable and unnecessary. And what legal issues may have been involved, I don't really think there was any legal issues involved with this case, but I do believe he got released from the Eagles. And I got a post from Greg Price, who's an Eagles fan. He was very disgusted with this post, and I totally agree with him. You can't be saying stuff like this. And I don't think he got punished. Really, I don't think he really got punished, but you can't be saying stuff like this because this is very insensitive, especially in these times. So thank you for this discussion, and we'll see you guys later.